Running a landscape photography business is in many ways different from portrait and wedding businesses. And in this video I will talk about the main differences and why it's so important to understand the differences. Hi, I'm Kim from Landscape to Art. If this is your first time here, make sure you click the subscribe button below. Landscape photography business requires a different approach than most other photography businesses, and many landscape photographers fail to adapt to these differences. If you treat your landscape photography business as a portrait photography business and adapt the same strategies, you will have a big struggle. So it's important to understand the differences because your marketing strategy will be totally different when you market landscape photography. So let's get started and look at the main reasons that make landscape photography so much different. The first and most important difference is that landscape photography don't have clients the same way as portrait and wedding photography has. So you take the photos first and then you try to sell or try to find clients or customers to sell your photos to later. And this is a different challenge. So when a landscape photographer plan or to start a business, they often see prints as the only option. And that's fine. Prints are possible to sell, but it's challenging because it's a complex product. Prints comes in many types and forms. They can be digital prints or physical prints, or they can be framed or unframed. And these products are different and they are aimed at different customers. So treating a print as the same product and market it to the same customers is not going to work. The marketing channels and messages is different for the different products of printing. And like a company that are looking for prints, editor or something in a magazine, they look for a cheap print, but they look for good quality. Whereas a private person or an art collector, it's different. They buy because they get some connection or feeling with the image, so they might be willing to pay even more. So it's important to understand that you need to market differently to different type of customers. And the second important difference is the marketing. As I just mentioned, traditionally as a landscape photographer, you photograph first and sell to potential clients later. And this is where many landscape photographers make it wrong. If print sale is your product, marketing to, for example, landscape photographers is not the right method. And I see a lot of landscape photographers hang out in Facebook groups for landscape photography. And just showing your work in such a group, it's probably not attracting your ideal client, because landscape photographers, they probably don't buy prints, they print themselves. So if you hang out in a group with landscape photographers and you're trying to sell prints, you're actually marketing to the wrong audience. It might sound like a good idea to stay in such a group because you get a lot of comments, you maybe get subscribers and a lot of views, but will these subscribers buy from you? So it's important to select the right marketing channel for the products you actually are selling. The third thing that you need to be aware of is you have to understand what is driving you. You have to be clear about your goals and the reason you want to do business. If it's just because it sounds like lucrative to travel and photograph all day long, all over the world, it's probably not a good business model. And you will soon see that if that's your idea, that you will just be traveling and with your camera gear, you will soon be disappointed. So do you want to run a business and really run a business and make money, or do you just have to have fun? If you want to have fun with photography, you're probably better stay as an amateur and do photography as a hobby. If the only motivation that's driving you is the possibility to travel all around the world, you're probably gonna struggle. Some photographers seems to believe that they can run a business and just skip the marketing and business part, and they actually don't like to sell. And if you try to run a business and you don't like selling, you're also gonna have a hard time. And this is why so many photographers fail with their business and they don't get any sales. So the mindset, you have to be willing to commit, and you should not become a professional photographer unless you are willing to commit, and you are willing to do the other work as well. 80% of the business is business related thing, marketing, and then just 20% of it is photography. And point number 4 is you must understand the difference between being a professional photographer versus an amateur photographer. Are you motivated to do the work it takes to run a business? It requires a lot of time for non-photography topics. And if you start your business because someone or a company asks for your photo for free because they like your photo and they just want to credit your name somewhere, is that enough to start up a business? Is this something that will drive you? And of course, when you photograph and you sell prints, you must have a good quality. And to make good quality prints these days is not hard, because a lot of photographers with simple cameras can take incredibly nice photos. So it's all the other things that is not photography that will make a business. The most important and the key to success in business is to get noticed. People must find you. And if you don't market, you will not sell. And that's probably the biggest thing we see a lot, that new photographers with new business, they complain that no one buys their work, but they don't do any marketing. They are just maybe posting on social media and posting a lot of photos, but that's not a marketing. That's not enough marketing. If print sale is your business model, you constantly have to create new work. And can you sustain an extensive travel schedule for years if travel is what motivates you to start a business? Think about that. It sounds like a dream job now, but will it be after many years traveling? And the 5th point is you must build a predictable business. Ideally, you should be able to understand or know what income comes into your bank account each month. And that's the most difficult part. And many beginners starting up businesses, they're living from month to month and with no predictable income. And also, you cannot, of course, not live from likes and subscribers on YouTube or Facebook. And also selling prints to families and friends is not a sustainable business. Similar with stock photography, the profit is small and the competition is high, but it's a lot of work for little money, because you constantly have to upload new photos to these stock sites. Many landscape photographers end up by selling information products like workshops and courses. And they do that because it's not possible to make a good salary just from print sales. Or it's probably possible, but it takes a lot of hard work, and it's not as easy as doing workshops, for example, and selling information products. The requests for such products are maybe not higher, but the competition is less. But some photographers will say that if you can't sell print, you cannot run a photography business. And that's bullshit, because who cares how you make your money? If you make your money from workshops or selling your skills or selling courses and you run a successful business, that's fine. And if your business runs more or less on autopilot, you can travel when you like to travel. You can photograph when you like to photograph. You don't need to hustle to take new photos to upload to a stock site. Or similarly, if you make YouTube your main source of income, you have to hustle with creating new videos every week. And in the long run, that's a tough thing to do. You have to stay up on the game and motivated all the time. So before you're considering starting a landscape photography business, you really should think about what do you want to do? What is it you like to do? And running a business should preferably a lot of fun. But businesses is all about the money. So if you can't make profit from your business, it's going to be hard for you. So if you're a landscape photographer, it's important you look at all the possibilities for income. Selling prints is not your only option as a landscape photographer if you want to run a business. I made a video explaining why you should start a landscape photography business, and click this link over here to watch that video. And until next time, ha det bra, goodbye.